Hey everyone, welcome to What Are You Watching? I'm Alex Withrow, and wow, we have something special today. We're going to talk about these pretty wild Oscar nominations. Social media is going insane right now in real time. These Oscar nominations were just a few short hours ago, and Nick is here to talk about them with me, but in a slightly different way than what our very loyal, very dedicated, very lovely listeners are used to. I don't want to get too in the weeds about this, but the Oscar nominations, which were today on January 23rd, this day also happens to be friend of the pod Dan's birthday. So because Dan is going to monopolize Nick's time this evening by gallivanting all around Los Angeles doing God knows what, I did not want to make everyone wait 2 or 3 days to talk about the nominations that just happened. So while Nick was on his way into work, I told him to call me and I just recorded the entire conversation. He knew about it this time. It wasn't like the maestro sabotage. He knew about the call, and this is fun because what you're getting, I almost wanted to call this episode 2024 Oscar nominations Uncut, because this is just us. Because there's only one audio track, I was recording him on my phone and then my voice was going into the mic. So both of our audio is going into one mic. There's not a lot of room for editing or finessing. This is just how Nick and I talk about the Oscar nominations. Since we have known each other, this is what we do the morning of the Oscar nominations. What's cool about this one is that he purposely did not look at the nominations. So there are some huge surprises coming up. And then because this is already phone call audio, I went, I do something else every Oscar nominations day as well, which is that I talk to my dad and get a rundown about what he thinks about the nominations. So I told him, hey, when you call to talk about these noms, if you don't mind, I'm going to record it for the podcast. So you get them both today. You get co-host Nick Dostal, and you get friend of the pod, my father, Mark Withrow. He was a guest when we recorded episode 86, our full breakdown of A Place in the Sun starring Montgomery Clift. Love that movie. Loved doing that episode. But this is how my dad and I talk. We talk about the Oscars all the time. My dad is really the one who made me fall in love with the history of the Oscars. So you'll see how quickly we'll just jump from subject to subject and how he can still hold on to Oscar misfortunes the same way that I do. And, there's my dad starts poking a little fun at an Oscar frontrunner, and I just had to include it. So it's stuff like that where I went, you know what? This is not the quality of recording that I like to put onto our podcast feed, but we've been doing this for a while. This is not a common thing, so I figured it would be fun. So here we go. First, it's going to be Nick and I talking about the Oscar nominations, and then it is going to be my dad and I sharing some thoughts about the nominations as well. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be loose. We hope you enjoy it. Here we go. You ready?
I'm ready, baby. I don't know anything, so you'll have to read them off to me.
Oh, I'm going to read them off. This call may be monitored or recorded for podcast quality assurance. Just saying. Maybe.
Wow, you really got that off the tongue real well.
I hear it all the fucking time. All right, here we go. Wow, you haven't seen him. This is great. All right, supporting actor, Sterling K. Brown, American Fiction, Robert De Niro, Killers of the Flower Moon, RDJ, Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling, Barbie, Mark Ruffalo, Poor Things. The rough got in there.
Very happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, no slight to Willem Dafoe, who got in there for the SAG, but it's so nice that they swapped each other out, because otherwise it was the same.
Yeah.
I'm actually going in order that they did on the telecast, so that was like a big one they did first. Then they went to Best Costume Design, Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. I did not expect Oppenheimer to make it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected that either. I certainly don't think it's going to win, but that's interesting that it got on there.
Yeah, that's probably a Barbie or Poor Things win. We'll see. I don't think Barbie has too many chances to win, which we're going to get to. All right, another big surprise. Best makeup and hairstyling. Golda, Maestro, Oppenheimer,
Okay.
Poor Things, Society of the Snow. That's that
Oh.
yeah, that like Netflix one I talked about the Alive
Yeah.
thing. I definitely
My
didn't.
mom loved it.
Yeah. Oh, your mom watched it?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's good. It's really intense. I did not expect Oppenheimer to make that. I mean, the makeup aging is pretty subtle until that very end. Flash forward, and then Maestro was a surprise given all the nose hoopla. You know,
I thought the nose played, man.
I thought the nose played too. No, don't. Yeah, the nose played, but not to social media. At least in the beginning. All right.
No, it really didn't.
All right, these next ones. Best live action short film. The After, Invincible, King of Fortune, Red, White, and Blue, and then the Wes Anderson short that's on Netflix, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, which I have not seen yet, but I'll watch. But
Doesn't he have like a few on Netflix right now?
there's like four. There's four. One is, I think, longer. I've been waiting for the right moment to watch them all, and I guess that's going to be today or tomorrow because I haven't seen any of them. One, I think, is like 30 minutes or a little longer than the other three are like 10. I think. I might be talking out of my ass. I have no idea. Best animated short film, Letter to a Pig, 95 Senses, Our Uniform, Pachyderm, I think that's how you say it. War is Over, inspired by the music of John and Yoko. I just wanted to say all those out loud because that category is not as exciting this year with the exclusion of titles such as My Year of Dicks, which was just a great title.
You just can't beat it. You just can't.
All right, best adapted screenplay. Here we go. American Fiction, which did very well, way better than I thought it would do today. Barbie, Baumbach and Greta Gerwig. American Fiction was written by Cord Jefferson. Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan. I did not expect that. Wow. Poor Things.
I figured it would get nominated. I don't know if it's gonna win, but I figured it would get nominated.
Oh, you did think the nomination. Okay, see, I was surprised by the nom. I don't think it'll win. I'll finish out the noms. Poor Things, Tony McNamara, who I think will have a good chance of winning this. And then The Zone of Interest, Jonathan Glazer.
Wow.
Huge surprise, just on many fronts. Reading those nominees, American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, The Zone of Interest. I think it's The Zone of Interest that likely knocked out Killers of the Flower Moon, which is a big snub. Bit of a shock, given how much has been made over how much they, changed that script because it was just supposed to be about the FBI, and then Scorsese and DiCaprio changed it all up. Original screenplay, Anatomy of a Fall, Justin Triet and Arthur Harari. The Holdovers, David Hemmingson. Okay. Maestro, Bradley Cooper, and Josh Singer. Yeah. May December by Sammy Birch and Alex Mechanic. Past Lives by Celine Song. Solid. That's, Maestro was a big surprise. It's nice to see May December here. I didn't expect May December or Maestro. That's nice. This is a stacked category. I could see Anatomy of a Fall, Holdovers, or Past Lives taking this.
I could see, honestly, I mean, it depends on if the Academy really liked Maestro. I like that category a lot. Very different.
Very, very. That was like just kind of a mixed bag in a good way. Now things are going to start to get a little funky. Best Supporting Actress, Emily Blunt, Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks, The Color Purple, America Ferrera for Barbie.
Damn.
Jodie Foster, Nyad, love it.
Love that.
And our eventual winner, Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers. I did predict that Ferrera would make this because they dedicated an entire 4-minute segment in the Critics' Choice Awards to her speech in Barbie. So I was like, I don't know. But that nomination, just hold her being nominated because but then something else is excluded, which is wild. That spot was kind of open anyway because Penelope Cruz in Ferrari got the SAG nomination. That felt random. So otherwise they're the same as the SAGs. Best song, The Fire Inside from Flamin' Hot by Diane Warren. There she is.
Oh, Diane Warren.
The people in the crowd just lost it. They wouldn't stop applauding. First for Barbie, first of two, I'm Just Ken by Mark Ronson. It Never Went Away from American Symphony. Wahazi, A Song for My People from Killers of the Flower Moon. And What Was I Made For, that sad song from Barbie by Billie Eilish. Yeah, Diane. Yeah, so no Dua Lipa. That's a bummer. I know.
I'd love to see her at the Oscars.
And I just want to remind people that Billie Eilish won an Oscar for Best Song in 2021 for the James Bond theme, No Time to Die. She does not need 2 Oscars in 2 years. I mean, come on. Best Original Score, there's something really funny in here. American Fiction, Indiana Jones, and the Dial of Destiny. John Williams cannot be stopped.
You cannot stop that man.
Jesus.
He's for all of them.
That is fucking hilarious. Killers of the Flower Moon, rest in peace, Robbie Robertson, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things.
Nice.
American Fiction is a bit of a surprise. It got 5 nominations total. I was expecting some, but it did well for itself. I'm happy for it. Obviously,
is the score good?
I don't even remember it, to be honest. I don't have a running memory of it. I wasn't really paying attention to it, and maybe, these nominations make me want to go back and go I want to go back and listen to the score and see, I'm sure it's good. Dial of Destiny did not pop out for me. I mean, I love John Williams. Everyone loves John Williams, but come on. It's I love it. Best documentary feature, I'm going to go through quick. Bobby Wine, The People's President, The Eternal Memory, 4 Daughters, To Kill a Tiger, 20 Days in Maripool. And what I want to say about these is that I've never heard of any of these, and that seems weird. And this 2023, in hindsight, for me, was not a very good year for documentaries, and that's just weird.
Well, you never talked about any of them, as I can recall.
I know usually one is circling my top 10, but I haven't really, none have been on my radar. Best documentary short, haven't heard of any of these. The ABCs of Book Banning, The Barber of Little Rock, Island in Between, The Last Repair Shop, Nai Nai, and Wapo. Probably said that wrong. Let's move on from that. Here we go. Best international feature film. Io Capitano, Perfect Days, Society of the Snow, The Teacher's Lounge, The Zone of Interest. Nothing from France.
So
The Taste of Things.
I already know that it's got to be Anatomy. It's got to be in Best Picture.
Well, yeah, I mean, that we kind of assumed. So then, yeah, this pivot by France to submit The Taste of Things, which I'm sure is a good film, but it doesn't come out till next month. We haven't seen it. Is just so weird to me. I really think Anatomy of a Fall would have won here easily. Maybe, I don't know. It just seems hubristic that they went for Best Picture and didn't even bother with international feature film. I do not know who makes these decisions. It is not the directors of the movies, I promise. But this was just a bad decision. Oh well, moving on. Animated feature film. The Boy and the Heron, Elemental, Nimona, Robot Dreams, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Pretty standard.
I got nothing for that.
Production design, we have Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things.
Oof.
I like it. I think
it a lot.
if Barbie is going to win more than one Oscar, because I do think its best chances in song right now, it could be here, but I don't know. Oppenheimer's great because on the making of featurette on the 4K, they had a whole set ready to go, and it fell through 5 days before they were supposed to film that Oval Office scene. And then they had to spend 24 hours a day for 5 days building that Truman office set. And the production designer even calls it out. She's like, well, hopefully this works for the movie. I know Reddit will rip it apart later. It's funny. And they did a little bit. In jest. All right, here we go. This is my headline of the day, folks. Best film editing. Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. With her nomination for Killers of the Flower Moon, the great Thelma Schoonmaker has become the most nominated editor in the history of the Academy Awards with 9 nominations total. Fucking awesome.
That's fucking fantastic.
A few people have 3 wins, including her. She's still tied. I don't think she'll win this year, but that is something to celebrate. There were some big snubs that we're going to get to that you don't know about yet, that this is something to celebrate. I love it.
For film editing?
Yeah, no, just big snubs overall. Overall, I mean, but for film editing, this is something to celebrate. You'll see what I mean. Best sound, The Creator, Maestro, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1, Oppenheimer, The Zone of Interest.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a stat category just between, I don't know, there's a lot there.
I know, I didn't expect Maestro, but it makes sense. And then just wanted to call out no nominations at all for David Fincher's The Killer. Womp womp.
Well,
we knew.
I mean, we knew.
All right, best visual effects, The Creator, Godzilla -1, hell yes.
Wow.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, and Napoleon. Obviously, I've mentioned that I think it is absurd that Oppenheimer isn't here, but I'm not going to cry about it. I love that Godzilla made this. God damn, that is so great. And then, we talked about the Dead Reckoning Part 1, at least computer graphics, that we weren't really thrilled by them. And did you know they're taking Part 1 off of that title?
What?
I mean, they're taking it off everywhere, off posters. It won't be on the physical media, on streaming. It's just going to say Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning from here on out. And they're not having Part 2 in the next movie. Because that'll solve the problem. That'll solve everything.
They're just going to change the title of the new movie?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway. Best cinematography, El Condi by Ed Lockman. That has been on my Netflix queue for ages, about vampires. Gotta watch that. Killers of the Flower Moon, Rodrigo Prieto. Maestro, Maddie Lebetique.
It looks great.
Yeah. Oppenheimer, Hoyte van Hoytema. Poor Things, Robbie Ryan. I was surprised by Maestro, didn't expect it, but yeah. And then the El Condi thing is great because Ed Lockman's great, and that'll be my movie I watch today, certainly.
Yeah, what's it called?
El Condi, Cond. I think it's in black and white. The Netflix image is looks like someone floating in the air. It's in black. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, I'll check that out.
It's by Pablo Larraín, who did Jackie with Natalie Portman and Spencer. So it was that movie in between, these biopics that he does. Best actor. Here we go. Bradley Cooper, Maestro. Coleman Domingo, Rustin, Paul Giamatti, The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer, Jeffrey Wright, American Fiction. That is the exact same as the Screen Actors Guild, and Leonardo DiCaprio is not there.
That's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. We talked about that. We kind of anticipated it.
He shouldn't be.
But yeah, otherwise the exact same as SAG. I think that's Giamatti and Murphy duking it out. Here we go, my friend. Best Actress. Annette Bening for Nyad. Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yep.
Sandra Huller, Anatomy of a Fall.
Oof.
Carey Mulligan, Maestro.
Uh-huh.
Emma Stone, Poor Things. I did not say Margot Robbie, Barbie. That is a truly stunning snub, and Twitter is fucking afire because of it. Dude, it's nuts.
So basically, Annette Bening got her.
No, Annette Bening got in there for the SAG. It's Sandra Huller.
Oh, okay.
Sandra Huller, I think, is what did this. Yeah, I love that Anatomy of a Fall did well, but that's pretty crazy that she snuck in there. So I that is what people are going apeshit about on social media. That and the next one I'm going to go over. Here we go. Best Director. Right. Justine Triet, Anatomy of a Fall. Martin Scorsese, Killers of the Flower Moon. Christopher Nolan, Oppenheimer. Yorgos Lanthimos, Poor Things. Jonathan Glazer, The Zone of Interest. No Greta Gerwig, no Alexander Payne.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No Greta?
No Greta and no Margot Robbie are dry. People are going nuts. Nuts.
I'm more shocked by the snub for Greta rather than Margot.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember, I mean, the masses have to remember that each individual branch votes for the nominees. So only directors vote for best director. And when saying that, you got to remember that a lot of directors in the Academy are not American. There are a lot of foreign directors, so that's why we usually see one foreign director get nominated. And Jonathan Glazer is from the UK, but still, Justine Triet and Glazer getting in there, I think, were huge surprises. They knocked out Greta Gerwig and Alexander Payne because that's who got the DGA noms. So yeah, that is a huge 1-2 punch, especially including Ferreira, which was not on a lot of people's radar for supporting actress.
Yeah.
She gets in, and Greta and Margot are out. It's wild. It's
very, very wild.
I'm stunned. Like, that was the real thing. When Killers of the Flower Moon didn't get adapted screenplay, I was like, okay. And then those, I was like, oh shit. And then Best Picture is exactly as the Producers Guild. We have 10 movies, not very surprising. Yep. American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, The Zone of Interest.
Okay.
So that's it.
All right. I hate that top 10 bullshit rule, but,
Well, dude, it's so...
solid...
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about doing maybe a whole pod on that, breaking these down, because, yeah, there's 10 there, and it's just so dumb. My question, cinema speculation question is, would Barbie make it if there were only 5? Would it be Barbie, Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things? Or maybe Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things? I don't know.
I wouldn't be so sure to put Killers of the Flower Moon in there.
Well, maybe. Well, okay, let me do a little more context. Final tally of nominees. Oppenheimer with 13 nominees. Great showing for the day. No complaints. Great showing. Poor Things coming up with second with 11 noms. Great showing for Poor Things. Despite a screenplay snub, Killers of the Flower Moon with 10 nominations. Barbie had 8. Maestro had 7. American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, and Zone of Interest all have 5. Pretty cool. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah, I like these noms. I'm okay with them. I did not realize in real time the double Barbie snub. I was actually the nominations were done, and I was just kind of looking at everything, and I went, wait a minute. No Margot Robbie? And I just opened Twitter, and that was the #1 trending topic. And yeah, wow. It happens every year. Something's snubbed, and people are extremely surprised.
Very surprised Greta didn't get the director. Very surprised. But
Greta not getting there for director boosts. It actually helps Barbie's chances in things like adapted screenplay and potentially, I don't want to overreach, but potentially in Best Picture. Think like Argo. When Affleck did not get nominated for director, that helped that movie's chances for picture. I don't think that'll be the turn of fate for Barbie, but adapted screenplay is stacked now because they were originally trying to run Barbie an original. So I don't know. I think Oppenheimer, Barbie, or Poor Things could all win adapted. Maybe not Oppenheimer. I don't know. Probably not, actually. So that's
I think it's going to take it. Now that it's in there.
You do. You think it'll win it now.
I know I flip-flopped on this one, but I've been steady a course for the Oppenheimer sweep. But now that it's in the adapted category, it actually did get nominated.
All right. Let me run one more thing by you. This is totally speculative. Do you think they should have run Lily Gladstone in Best Supporting Actress, where she would have been an absolute lock to win for Killers of the Flower Moon? That would have opened up probably Margot Robbie to be nominated for actress, and then I think Emma Stone to get the relatively easy win. But right now, it's going to be Emma Stone and Lily Gladstone duking it out in actress, and Emma Stone still might win. So do you think they should have run Gladstone in supporting?
I actually do, just because I actually just consider her more of a supporting character in that movie, even though she's really the only lead female, but still a supporting character. So I don't know. It's always dicey when you talk about, like, what is a supporting character and what's not. And I think the category for Davine
Joy Randolph, yeah.
And Lily Gladstone, that would be a very, very interesting match.
It would be a fun match to watch. I do think Gladstone would win, but yeah, it's just fun to like battle that stuff around. I mean, we saw like Viola Davis was the front runner / lock to win Best Actress for The Help in 2011, and then Meryl Streep came in and won it for The Iron Lady, and even she was like, huh? And then when Fences comes around, Viola Davis, that's a lead performance, but they run her in supporting, and she wins supporting. It was just a sweep. She won without breaking a sweat. So I don't know. These Oscar rules are always just so silly, but all told, I'm happy with the way things look. I love that Thelma is the most nominated editor ever. I'm going to enjoy watching people flip out about Barbie for the next 6 weeks or so. We're going to see how everyone how everyone runs their campaigns. I don't know. Supporting.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting lead up. When are the SAG Awards?
Oh, Christ. I don't know. Why you got to hit me with that? Let me look. I'll look. Damn it. The Saggies. I got them here somewhere.
The Saggies.
That's what I call them. The DGA Awards are on February 10th. The BAFTAs are on February 18th. SAG Awards are on February 24th. Independent Spirit Awards are on February 25th. Producers Guild Awards also February 25th. Oscar voting ends on February 27th. The Oscar Awards are on March 10th, which I will be in LA with you to watch.
Damn straight.
Will it be an Oppenheimer victory night? I don't know. Will I be overjoyed and over the moon? I don't know. We're going to see.
It's all going to come to a head.
It will. I do want to say that if this audio ends up being included in the episode, this is all friend of the pod Dan's fault. I'll explain why. Fucking asshole.
Well, hey, don't forget about our bet. Either you owe me $500 or you get to punch him in the face. So
yeah, I'll explain this bet a little more real quick. So I made that bet because you're going to predict Oppenheimer wins like everything. I don't know if...
I predict my scorecard will be higher than yours.
Yeah, because you are going to choose that Oppenheimer wins everything, which I don't think I can do because I don't know. I just don't think that'll be the case. So if you score more than me, that will mean that Oppenheimer won a lot. And I'll be happy to part with my money. That's fine. But if I win and Oppenheimer didn't win that much, then I do indeed get to assault Dan.
I love this. I love that he's not even a part of it.
He has no idea. I'll tell him like an hour before or something. We'll figure it out. It'll be cool. Yeah. It's all in jest. It'll be cool to when we get to our narratives, like who we think will win, because you and I are so aligned in our tastes, like what our number one, just Oscars aside, what we love the most from the year. You know, go check out our top 10 of 2023 and people will hear that we're very aligned, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be aligned in who we think will win these awards. So here we go. Best actor and actress are open. I think that
actress category got stacked all of a sudden. Very cool.
Yeah. No Margot Robbie, no Greta. Wow.
From Anatomy of a Fall.
You were surprised by her? Yeah. Let me bring up. You haven't even seen that movie, right?
No.
It's so good. It made my top 10 of the year. We just released our episode yesterday, so... Oh. Yeah, I actually made my top 5 of the year. I loved it. But that was a surprise. I mean, that's the big surprise, not having Margot Robbie for actress or Greta Gerwig for directors. Wild.
Oh, I didn't realize that she didn't get nominated for director.
Oh, that's all over social media. People are having a field day. I would say that's the biggest surprise of the day.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, that is crazy. Sterling instead of William Dafoe was a surprise to me in supporting actor.
They did. That American Fiction made like a strong play toward the end. It got 5 total, which I did not anticipate.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that. And Rustin.
I liked American Fiction way more than I thought I would. I do not
That's
like.
what you said.
Yeah, I didn't like the preview for that, the trailer, and I was like, oh, there's actually a lot of like good family stuff in here. Rustin that just wasn't for me. I mean, they give us these cookie cutter biopics every, I don't know, a few of them every year. It feels like, and I don't know, it just didn't work for me.
I was surprised about Leonardo DiCaprio. I read that though Sunday.
Yeah, we talked about that in our top 10 episode. I mean, when he didn't get the SAG, I went, oh, okay, this is strange. And then that Best Actor was exactly like the SAGs. It's the only acting category that's exactly the same. Yeah, so that's surprising though. I mean, he's like our biggest movie star probably. Why you think you'd want to nominate your biggest movie star to show up to the show? I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Same with Margot Robbie. I mean, that's the thing. Like, Margot Robbie is nominated as a producer, and then Greta Gerwig is nominated for the screenplay. So they still got nominated, but not in the things. Yeah, not where people were expecting.
No.
Hey, Nyad did pretty well, Annette Bening and Jodie Foster.
Yeah, they both got nominated. That's good. I don't think either one of them will win.
I don't either. Have you thought about you and I talk about category fraud a little bit. Do you think Lily Gladstone should have been supporting actress for Killers of the Flower Moon?
See, that's where it gets weird to me because she's the lead actress in there.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get it, how they make the distinction. It didn't revolve around her. She more supported what was going. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know exactly what you're saying. A lot of people have been making the case that it's a supporting performance, but she is the lead actress of the movie. It's always, there's one or two of these every year where people don't know where it should have gone, but
I would really like to see Mark Ruffalo pull off an upset.
Oh God, that'd be hilarious.
It would be great. Robert, his performance is good, but I just don't care for him as much as I don't know if that's just his personality or.
Well, I've talked about this on the pod that he's being. Academy voters don't mind when you are excited to win an award and you are obvious about really wanting it, but they do not want you to act like you have it in the bag. And he
does.
Yeah, and that is part of his personality. I get it, but there's a little bit too much like, well, yeah, duh, this was going to be mine. So his SAG speech will be really important.
That, and my God, be a little humble. Look what the man went through.
Well, yeah. It's true.
It's not all about you. You're not all that great.
I love it. And they're friends. He and Mark Ruffalo, they were, in all those Avengers movies. So that it's between those two, I think. That could be funny.
I know Bradley Cooper doesn't stand a chance.
Unless it's a Brody. That's what I always say. If Giamatti and Cillian Murphy cancel each other out and then Bradley sneaks in there, I don't think he'd be able to make it through his speech. I think he would just be sobbing.
I do too.
He'd be so happy. Hey, Maestro did well. Your favorite of 2023. Carey Mulligan got in there. I was so happy.
Favorite. Yeah, Saltburn didn't get anything. That's probably good.
No comment.
Did you see that?
So, yeah, a lot of people are talking about it, but I just don't. If it got a nomination, I was going to watch it because I always watch the movies that are nominated. So that was my rule, and it didn't. So I get to move on with my life.
I thought he might sneak in there.
Well, I love him. I do, but I just. Yeah. So you have to see the two foreign ones. You have to see Anatomy of a Fall and The Zone of Interest, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Now, The Zone of Interest is, whoa, that's an art house.
Concentration camp, right?
Ish. Yeah, it's rated PG-13. So, like, I went, how intense could this be? And you're in the commander's house of Auschwitz. And you're not, like, this is not him arguing with his wife about, oh, my life is so difficult because I ordered the death of 10,000 people today. He's like, is dinner ready? That's what they're talking about. So for it to be nominated for screenplay was very interesting to me because the actual dialogue is very banal on purpose. It's an art movie. It is an art house movie for sure.
Huh.
So I mean, all of its nominations surprised me. I figured like sound, but screenplay and director is like, wow, it's intense.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah, I think they might be streaming available.
For what? The Zone of Interest?
Yeah.
Maybe for like a price, but it just, I don't know, because it just came out in theaters. Like it's in limited release. I'll look, but it should be out soon. Anatomy of a Fall is probably available to rent, I think.
Okay.
It has to be because that's how Nick watched it. He didn't go to the theater.
Okay.
Yeah. And that movie is fantastic. Anatomy of a Fall to me was like
That's what you've said.
it reminded me a lot of The Staircase, that true story and that,
Yeah.
Documentary series, but this is all just fiction made up, but really, really cool. I think you'll like it. She deserves her nomination. That movie, every nomination it got is necessary, I think.
Oh, good.
Hey, Maestro still got 5, right? Or 7. Maestro got 7. That's good.
Yeah, 7. Didn't get director.
No, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to...
He's never going to win an Oscar.
For director or actor, you
Just
don't
like-
think?
Just like Angela Bassett got the honorary Oscar this year.
Oh, she does?
The governor's award.
Oh.
She and Mel Brooks.
She and Mel Brooks, she just got nominated. Mel Brooks makes sense. She was nominated last year.
Just like Paul Newman.
Yeah, Paul Newman. They give him the honorary, then give him actor.
Yeah, I know. When I saw that, I thought, well, that's almost an insult.
Yeah. And God, I have to look it up now, how many nominations Bradley Cooper's going to have. Just total.
I think he breaks the record of not winning.
Yeah, that'll be...
Because he got 2 today. I think Glenn Close and somebody else had 9, and I think he's now at 10.
I wonder if he got 3 today, because he got actor, screenplay, and he's a producer on it, so he might have gotten picture.
Producer, so he got 3.
Oh, poor guy.
I know.
I don't think its Oscar chances are good, but I'm glad it had a good showing. We'll see. Oh, that was fun. I mean, it was kind of upsetting how I had to break their hearts, both of them, about Greta Gerwig. They hadn't heard. I definitely thought my dad had heard that. This is really shocking, folks. Greta, I was more surprised initially by Margot Robbie not getting in there for actress. Greta Gerwig not getting in there for director that is what we're going to hear about. That is what Jimmy Kimmel is going to be joking about from stage. That's going to get a lot of ooh, from the crowd. It's going to be that type of thing. And I don't know. We have some time. We have a lot of time. But for whatever reason, I have Argo in my head, and I just think Argo not being nominated for director seriously helped out its chances in every other area. 2012 was a relatively weak movie year compared to this one. For instance, there was no Oppenheimer like behind Argo. We'll see. I would not be surprised if Barbie now gets adapted screenplay though, and I did not think that would be the case before. A few snubs I totally forgot to mention when talking to both guys. Greta Lee for Past Lives, lead actress. That was getting a lot of movement, and I thought that was going to happen. I am surprised by that as well. May December being snubbed out of 3 acting categories. No Charles Melton. It was weird how we all thought that was like a lock and that was going to be a thing. I don't know what happened to this. Maybe the movie's too weird. I'm not sure, but there's some other weird movies this year. All of Us Strangers is a movie we have not had a chance to talk about on the pod. Neither of us have seen it. I did expect it to get some Oscar nominations, and then that's what was going to motivate me to check it out, but it didn't. I still really want to see it. I love that director. The Zone of Interest, while doing very well, I am completely stunned that it did not get a Best Score nomination. That and sound are the 2 that I actually thought it had in the bag for, picture, director? Are you kidding? So when my dad was talking about Bradley Cooper, poor Bradley Cooper, what he means are competitive Oscars in terms of him being the biggest loser. So I looked this up. Here are the top 5, currently the top 5 biggest Oscar losers for competitive categories. Peter O'Toole had 8 nominations. Number 4, this one hurts. I didn't realize this. Paul Thomas Anderson, 11 nominations, 0 wins. This is bad. That's a shame. Bradley Cooper, number 3, with 12 nominations and 0 wins. Keep in mind, this includes acting, producing, writing, not directing. Thomas Newman, the great composer Thomas Newman, has been nominated 15 times and never won. Come on now. Number 1 is Greg P. Russell, a sound mixer with 17 nominations, or 16 nominations because his last nomination was taken away from him the night before the Academy Awards. Go look that up. That's a fun Wikipedia. Greg P. Russell. Sometimes those sound guys can have a ton of noms and never get a win. Kevin O'Connell, a few years ago, had 21 Oscar nominations, 21 noms, 0 wins. I wrote about him on my blog. It's a guy, I just latched onto this guy in the early 2000s and he just never won, this poor guy. So I latched onto him and wrote an article in 2017, right before that would have been for the 2016 Oscars, right before they aired. And he won that year. He won because of my blog article. I'm just kidding. But it was awesome. I wrote about him that he won. It was so cool. I was so happy for him that he finally won. For Hacksaw Ridge, that's what he finally won for, believe it or not. Mel Gibson's Hacksaw Ridge. That same fate will not happen for Craig P. Russell this year because he is not nominated. Talked about a lot of movies today. Where can you watch them? In theaters right now, we have Poor Things. Also in theaters, we have American Fiction. American Fiction was produced by MGM, which has a deal with Amazon. So American Fiction will come out on Amazon Prime. I do not know when, but they need to move and do that now. Once your movie is nominated for Oscars, you need to get it in front of people. The Zone of Interest is in 4 or 5 movie theaters. It is an A24 movie. A24 has a deal with HBO Max. It will eventually end up on there. I do not know when, but it has to be before Oscar night. I would assume so. Oppenheimer is on VOD. Anatomy of a Fall is on VOD. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Soon Not to Be Part 1 is on VOD. Past Lives is on VOD. Napoleon also on VOD. But that will be available on Apple TV Plus on February 16th. Okay, here are the free ones. Free ones if you have their services. Killers of the Flower Moon is on Apple TV Plus. Barbie is on Max. The Holdovers is on Peacock. The Creator is on Hulu. I need to watch that one. And then we have a ton on Netflix. Maestro, Naiad, Society of the Snow, May December, Rustin, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Also, I love Coleman Domingo. I'm not what I said to my dad about the Rustin nomination. That movie just wasn't for me, but I love that man. I would have nominated that man for Zola for supporting actor. I loved him in that movie. Euphoria, Christ, I love him. Next time, we're going to have some fun with the Oscars. This whole preferential ballot thing, when it went from just 5 nominees to 5 to 10, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about why this happened. We're going to talk about what the hell a preferential ballot is. But most importantly, we are going to look at every Best Picture race since 2009 and argue about what 5 movies would have been nominated and what we actually think should have won. A lot of fun. But as always, thanks for listening and happy watching. Hey everyone, thanks again for listening. You can watch my films and read my movie blog at alexwithrow.com. nicholasdostal.com is where you can find all of Nick's film work. Send us mailbag questions at whatareyouwatchingpodcast@gmail.com or find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at WAYW_podcast. Next time, we're going to have some fun with the Oscars by shaking up the last several Best Picture races. Stay tuned.